In mathematics, terms are alike if they have the same variable and the same powers with those variables. What I mean by that is 5x and 3x are like terms, and we can combine those by taking the 3 and the 5 and adding them and getting 8 and having an 8x. When we combine like terms, we do nothing to the power. So if you have an x and you have an x, when you add those together, you end up with an x. 7x plus 3y, these are not like terms. So if I asked you to combine those, you can't. Your answer would just be 7x plus 3y, or you would say something like, cannot be simplified. 7x plus 5x plus 8 minus 4. We can combine like terms here. We have 7x and 5x. 7 plus 5 makes 12, so that'll be 12x. And then we can combine the like terms of our numbers. We have a plus 8, we have a minus 4. That ends up with, I should have a 12x there, but 8 minus the 4 is plus 4. So I can combine like terms with the x's, and I can combine like terms with my numbers. That's how we combine like terms. A little bit more trickier problem. I may bring in things like parentheses. 4 in front of parentheses, 3x plus 2. Excuse me. A number in front of a parentheses means you are taking that number and you are multiplying it to that parentheses. One way of looking at it is like saying you have 4 of those parentheses. You have 4 of these 3x plus 2's. But we don't want to write that. But you have a 3x, you have a 3x, you have a 3x, you have a 3x. They're like terms, so we can combine those. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 12x. I could have gotten that 12x by simply multiplying the 4 times the 3x. I can't multiply the 4 with the x, but I can multiply it with the 4, and the 3, and that gives me the 12. I have plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. All of those 2's make plus 8. And I could have gotten that by just going 4 times the 2. So I don't want you to do this expansion, because if it was a larger number, you really wouldn't want to go through and write all those out. So if we had 8 in front of a parentheses, 5x plus 6, I don't want to write out 8 of those. I'm going to use my distributive property. I'm going to distribute the 8. So I go 8 times the 5. 8 times 5 is 40. So this is 40x. I go 8 times the 6. 8 times 6 is 48. So that's how we use the distribution property. A few more examples. Let's say I have something a little chunkier. 4x plus 3 times a parentheses, a group. We call that a quantity. I want to simplify this. Well, this 4x over here will just have to wait for a few moments. Let me go ahead and multiply the 3. Multiplication always comes ahead of addition anyway. So we have 4x waiting for u, but then I go 3 times the 2, that gives me 6x. I go 3 times the 5, that gives me 15. And then I can combine like terms. I have 4x, I have 6x, so that gives me 10x. And then I just bring down the 15, because there's no like terms to add with it. Another example or two. 5 plus 7, and then a parentheses. And there's something on the end. Okay? Now, what I'm afraid of is you might go ahead and take your 5 and your 7 and add those together. You can't do that. That doesn't follow the correct order. So what you want to do is you want to multiply first before you do any adding. So we're going to distribute the 7 first. So 5, wait your turn. 7 times 4 is 28, 28x. 7 and the plus 3 is positive, is plus 21. And then I'll bring down my 5x. And then I'm ready to combine like terms. I like to do x's before I do numbers. So here's my 28x, here is 5x. 28 and 5x makes 33x. 5 and 21 make 26. Another example. This time let me throw two parentheses at you. So 4, 6x plus 5, plus 2, 7x plus 9. I'm going to distribute the 4 to this first parentheses, this 2 to the second parentheses. Always be careful with signs in the middle. Later on, I'll go into more detail about that. Just right now, everything's nice and positive, so just learning the distribution property. 4 times 6, 4 times the 5. Positive 2, 2 times the 7, 2 times the 9. I'm ready to combine like terms. X's. I have 24x here, I have 14x here. I will add, I get 38x. Do not affect power when you add. X and X make an X. 20 and 18 add up to be 38. I have a pair of 38s there. And one more type of problem that you'll see on one of your assignments is where I say simplify and then substitute. So here's an example of that. 6 in front of a parentheses, 8 plus 3x plus 5, another parentheses, 2x plus 1. I want you to simplify that. And then when that is done, I want you to substitute for the x of 5. So I'm going to simplify first, and then I'm going to substitute. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to distribute. 6 times the 8, 48. 6 times the 3x, 6 times 3 is 18, 18x. I'm going to distribute the 5. 5 times 2x, 5 times 2 is 10, 10x. 5 times the 1 is 5. Let me clean this up, simplify. 18x, 10x, 28x. 48 and 5 plus 53. Now I'm going to substitute. 28x is 28 times 5 plus 53. 28 times 5, you go to your calculator, but that is 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 2 is 10, carry the plus the 4. That is 140 plus 53, which is 193. I simplified first. How pretty. And then I substituted. Hey, I hope you all have a nice day. Be safe.